My girlfriend of 6 months has completely changed, starting to criticize my clothes and my job, even calling me useless and stupid, and I don't want to be around this black hole of misery any longer. Posted by you/pantwearer123. So, I, 30M, met my girlfriend, 32F, earlier this year. We became fast friends within a month of meeting and started dating soon after. We've been officially together for about 6 months. I met her on a night out with some friends. We live separately, but she spends a lot of time at my house since it's closer to where she works. Our relationship started off really well, I felt like we just clicked, and she was very supportive of me. But recently, she's been quite pushy about me making changes to my lifestyle and seems angry and disappointed with the results. The two big issues are my work and what I wear. As for my work, I've been at the same store since I was 16. It's an easy job, it pays my bills, and I know how to do everything there. I'm basically a manager without the responsibility of actually being a manager, because I don't want that level of responsibility for no extra pay. I also make money through stocks and cryptocurrencies, so I don't struggle financially. Regarding what I like to wear, I have many jumpers and t-shirts from an emo band my friends and I loved when we were younger. I genuinely have around 50 or so that I wear often because they make me happy and don't hurt anyone. I admit I have a bit of a problem with anxiety, familiarity helps me cope. Some family members think I might have OCD, but I've never been diagnosed. A few weeks ago, my girlfriend expressed frustration with my clothes, saying I need to grow up and get new ones. She spends a lot of money on fashionable clothes, which I have no issue with, it's her money, and she's not hurting anyone. But I don't understand why she has a problem with my clothes. The argument was intense but eventually resolved. We went shopping and bought me some new clothes, which I actually quite like. A few days later, I wore a band t-shirt again because the new clothes were in the wash, and she got really angry. I explained the situation and said it hadn't been decided that I would completely stop wearing the band clothes. She didn't talk to me for the rest of the day. The next day, she had cooled off and said she believes new clothes will help me grow as a person. We talked for a long time, and I eventually agreed to get rid of the band clothes. While I was packing them up, I started crying, and she called me stupid. I asked her to leave. She came back a few hours later, and we made up. I packed the boxes into my car and told her I was going to donate them. She was really pleased and said I was making the right choice. I didn't donate them, though. I took them to work and am keeping them there for now. My boss was confused but understanding. When I got back home, she had ordered me lots of new clothes. She told me she understands it was upsetting but believes I'll be better off for it. That night, a few hours later, she wanted to talk about my job and why I'm not a manager. I explained that I don't want to be. She's been distant and only talks about how I should ask to be a manager. I've explained why I don't want to be one, that I wouldn't even be paid more, and that there's no need for it at the store. She just keeps insisting that I need to fight for a raise so I can treat us to nice things. I told her that's not how it works, that I make money in other ways, and that she has her own money too, so it shouldn't matter. She shouted at me, called me useless, and stormed out. My boss later told me she called the store and asked him why I'm not a manager. After feeling upset and useless for a few hours, I decided I don't want to be with her. I realized I don't see my friends as much as I used to because she likes us to spend all our free time together. I just don't feel happy with her anymore and feel like she acted differently at the beginning just to get close to me. She even said she loved all the band stuff when I first showed her. I think she may be right that new clothes could help me a bit. I genuinely appreciate that and like how I look in some of the ones we bought. But I also liked how I looked in the band clothes and still think they weren't over the top. I'd usually just wear jeans and a t-shirt or jumper anyway. I don't think it's as ridiculous as she said it was. I always thought of it as a wearable collection. People collect weirder things. On top of that, I really don't like that I lied to her about donating the band clothes. It felt horrible and dishonest. My boss and colleagues could tell something was off when I brought the boxes to work. I try to be honest because I don't want to upset people. Top/relevant comments. Commenter. After 6 months? She hasn't changed, she's just tired of pretending to be a kind person. Commenter 2. I think your response to all of this was completely reasonable. You opened yourself up to her suggestions and to trying new things, and you kept your boundaries about not wanting to enter a management position at your store. I think you have a healthy viewpoint on yourself, your life, and what makes you happy. The fact that she called your work to complain without telling you is a major red flag. When you end things, I would just suggest that you stay focused on the fact that you were willing to change and try new things, while she was hardline and disrespectful of your choices. Someone who really cares about you would behave more like you did, seeking compromise. It is going to be uncomfortable, but you can do it. If she becomes angry, ask her to leave or leave the situation yourself, but don't waver on the fact that the relationship is over. I would strongly suggest going no contact after the breakup so that she cannot manipulate you out of your decision. Ops response. Thanks for your advice and your compliments, I really appreciate both. I know she's had several red flags and I've decided that I want to break up with her. I'm more worried about what she'll say or do to people around us, and if / how I can stop that. No contact is seeming likely. I miss making my own choices about things and seeing my friends. Update 1 week later. Some things I want to address first. I work at the same place I've been for years because of my anxiety. I know how to do everything at my job, and it helps me feel grounded and not worry. When I said I'm basically a manager, I meant that I sometimes fill in shifts and take on responsibilities for them. We've talked about me officially becoming a manager before, but it's not what I want. I don't want to take my work home with me and never be able to switch off, like I see some of the managers do. That said, I do want to have more ambition in my life going forward, and I plan to explore other ventures. My band clothes are now back at my house. I still have the new clothes we bought, as I paid for many of them, and I plan to continue wearing them too. I can see what she meant by wanting me to wear new clothes, I just didn't like her end goal or the way she went about it. For those thinking I dress like those goth people dancing under a bridge, I don't. It's usually just a band tee or jumper with normal jeans. I'm not a teenager, just a 30-year-old who still loves the same band, ha ha. No hate to those dancing goths, I love that meme. Okay, so on to the main story. I took advice from some of the responses to the original post. We live separately, so there weren't any issues with leases, but I did change my lock since I had given her a key a few months ago. As for the breakup, it didn't go well, but it did happen, at least. I was at home thinking about how to do it, what cafe or restaurant I was going to do it in, etc. She finished work and came to mine without any prior discussion, which wasn't unusual. Anyway, she could tell something was off, and because I'd been thinking about it for hours, I was 150% sure I wanted to do it, so I just did it then and there. I first told her that I had lied about donating my clothes and that I'd actually taken them to work instead. She was angry and called me a liar and all that. I apologized and tried to explain that I felt a lot of unfair pressure to get rid of them when I didn't really want to, and my collection wasn't hurting anyone. I don't really feel the argument was fair, and I feel her actions pushed me to lie, but I hate saying things like that, so I just left it and moved on. I then told her I was really annoyed about her calling my boss. She said she was sorry but insisted I should be a manager. I said that's okay, and she looked confused but accepted it, I guess. Then I just told her I didn't want to be with her anymore because she'd actually given me a second to speak. She looked shocked and asked what I meant. I just repeated that I didn't want to be with her anymore, that I wanted her to leave, and that I'd be changing my locks. I said I was open to calls or messages about picking up her stuff. She said things like we don't have to break up, but I kept saying my mind was made up and that technically we already had. She called me pathetic as she walked out and slammed the door. This happened the other day. I haven't heard from her, but I sent a message about picking up her stuff. There's not much of it here, so maybe she doesn't want it? Anyway, since then, I called my boss to explain the situation and to be wary of any contact from her. We've worked together for years and we're good friends, so he was very understanding and said he'd try to help however he can. We often go for drinks with other colleagues, so I'll probably explain it all to them then. As for me, like I said above, I do want to work on myself a bit, partly because of the things she said, but not for the same reasons. Just for me, to grow in terms of work experience and fashion sense. I'll be buying more smart casual clothes to wear as well. I don't think I'll ever fully stop wearing the band clothes though, ha. I'm not quite sure what I want to do in terms of work, but I have experience with teamwork and leadership at the store, which I think is usable and transferable to other jobs. I'm feeling weird, but okay. It feels great to have acted decisively. I haven't felt sad yet, nor happy, just mostly relieved. Some of her stuff is still here, and it feels weird to see it, knowing it'll never be that way again. I don't know how to describe that feeling. Anyway, I've spoken to friends about it and will be seeing them soon. I don't know what she's been up to or what she'll do, I'm not sure I want to. There's nothing left for me with her anyway. Just wanted to thank everyone for their kind words on the original post. It felt really good to know I wasn't being treated fairly and wasn't just being stupid like she said. Some even messaged me with similar experiences or said how much they liked their partners with similar habits to my band clothes, which was really nice. One of the reasons I still wear the band tees is because sometimes other fans notice them, and we end up having a nice conversation that always ends with a smile. It's just nice. Top/relevant comments. Commenter. Not everyone wants to move up in their career, that's okay. If you can make what you need, then that's fine. Not everyone is cut out to be a manager. Do what you want. I'm glad you're rid of your girlfriend. She was toxic and so negative. She wanted to change you into her vision of what you should be, not what you actually want.